Welcome to Digital Hospitality. I am your host, Shawn Walchef. This is a Cali BBQ Media production. We are coming to you from the National Restaurant Association show in Chicago 2024. We're at the Restaurant 365 booth, and I'm with a repeat guest. This is really cool for us. The last time that I saw Scott was at a Restaurant Transformation Tour Festival event in Los Angeles at the Wiltern. And welcome back to the show, Scott.
Thank you. It's pretty amazing. We did that banter back and forth. We had Mark Cohn and we talked accounting, and I am amazed at the number of people who have told me when I speak to people, I speak to potential new clients, speak to candidates I'm interviewing there for positions, and they talk about hearing the video or the podcast, and I'm like, wow, where did you find that? That's unbelievable. I've heard it's one of the most from the Restaurant 365 archives, it's the one of the most frequented. So
it's amazing.
I appreciate it. It's awesome.
That's why we do this show. We had a deep belief back in 2017 that we were not alone to believe in hospitality, to believe in technology, and to believe that there were other people out there that could benefit from a seat at the table. You know, so many great things happen when companies like Restaurant 365 get customers together, get people that use their products, test their products, believe in their products. But sometimes some people are busy running their restaurants and they can't go to those events. So YouTube's available, LinkedIn's available. Can you share a little bit about what do you guys do at Dine Technologies for those that didn't listen to that
our
first episode?
So Dine really was a follow-up to my career in the restaurant business. I owned about 70 restaurants over the course of too many years.
70 restaurants?
Yeah, and not at one time, but over the course of a year, over a course from 1989 till about 2017. I still owned a couple, and I met with the folks, the founders, first John and Morgan, and then Tony. And I really wanted to get involved with Restaurant 365. I knew it was the future. I was very knowledgeable at everything restaurant, but my brother and I ran the company, and I was always the one that oversaw accounting, finance, technology, had really worked with a lot of the great restaurant technology companies over the last 30 years. And I saw something special. This web-based, it had automatic intercompany entries, it had integrated inventory. I'm like, this is the future. I want to get involved. And John Moody and I sat down and went through a list of about 5 or 6 ways we could work together. And one of them was, he mentioned that there were a few people starting to do outsourced accounting, which was a kind of a foreign thing to me. I didn't really know of that, like other people doing your accounting for you using Restaurant 365. So I did some diligence. I went to talk to some people, and I'm like, Let's see if we can sell the software. Let's see if we can do some services. And I was amazed at how much interest there was. We hadn't even had any experience. I had a good reputation for running restaurants and always running restaurants in a fiscally sound way. But we just built a lot of traction early. Little bumpy in the beginning, especially as we hit into COVID and learning our way. One of the bumps was really become familiar with third-party delivery services, right? So if you go back to 2017-ish, it's when they really started to kick in.
Yep.
We started out with some, so going back, so our primary business today is providing outsourced accounting using only Restaurant 365 for accounting. Almost all of our clients use it for inventory, and then we supplement it and get involved in all the other technologies they need as part of the ecosystem. But when we got into doing a lot of work in New York City, they were one of the earliest areas to really be heavy with third party. You had Seamless, which was bought by Grubhub, which invented the concept mostly for big financial, legal companies that needed to get their food, get it quickly, get it from lots of great restaurants, and keep track of all the accounting. So I was kind of shocked when I got into the business that all this business coming in from all these different streams, and how difficult it was to keep track of it and keep track of the money you're supposed to get and book correctly, and what's a promo and what's an expense and what's the sales tax, and why do we pay the sales tax sometimes and the vendor pays the sales tax sometimes. And we started to see that people are really making a lot of mistakes. They never knew what they were supposed to pay, what they were paying, if they were getting it. So it really enlightened me to a huge problem in the industry.
Can you tell me more about the third-party reconciliation tool that you've been using?
Yeah, so it's been an evolution. So what our company has done is we've really tried to max out on the use of Restaurant 365 in every way possible. We focus on really sound accounting principles, really, really looking not just restaurant business, but what are you supposed to do for a business accounting-wise, day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month. And the process is that you're supposed to do all your day-to-day processes, make sure you're getting the money you're supposed to, make sure you're not paying money you're not supposed to, book things correctly. But at the end of the period, you need to have a really solid balance sheet reconciliation. And for people that are really not in the weeds here, like that doesn't mean much to them. But I learned this as being an owner of the business. If I saw my accounts receivable were $200,000, I would say, what's this $200,000?
Yeah.
Are we getting it? How do we know? Have we been paid? Are you sure this is accurate? If I saw $300,000 in payables, I'd be like, do I really owe that much money? That looks like a lot of money. So in the restaurant business, people tend to be more, they say they're more P&L focused, but they're kind of kidding themselves. If you don't,
Who says that?
yeah, if you don't reconcile your balance sheet, if you don't know what all your balance sheet entries are, I mean, I know nobody really cares how much their prepaid insurance is.
Yeah.
You don't walk around saying, hey, what's your prepaid insurance? But trust me that if it's wrong and your P&L is wrong or your cash is wrong or something else, likely something bad is happening, it's problematic. So what we did on a multi-year mission and with increasing levels of sophistication is figure out for every process, for every, whether it's, cash or third party or invoices, we've tried to optimize the process, ultimately ending in a reconciliation and reporting so people can know that everything that's supposed to be is and that they know what's going on. So these third parties are treacherous. So most people have an integration, and the DoorDash, Uber, Grubhub, maybe other things come into the POS, and then there's a check, and the payment is Grubhub payment, Grubhub receivable, but you don't get the amount that's on your POS. You don't get it for good reasons. There's a lot of things that go on after the fact. You have to pay fees. They may have collected some tips that come back to you. You may use a delivery service, your own delivery service, or in New York they use Relay, so Grubhub just takes the order, and there's a fee that comes back to me. There are sales tax adjustments. If there are promos that weren't entered in the POS, but that were granted, you have to book those promos, and your sales tax should be reduced. People are way overpaying their sales tax. If someone finds out at the end of the year that they overpaid their sales tax by $50,000 or $100,000, meaning Grubhub didn't collect it.
Wow.
But their POS thinks they correct, and they just wrote it off as an expense. That's not something I would be very happy with. Sometimes the third parties in some states for some services pay the taxes on your behalf and don't give you the money because they paid it, but people don't know how to read the statements, and they end up paying the sales tax twice. There's so many things that go on. So what we do is the following. We get the source data from all these services.
Yep.
We have figured out how they work, what they mean. We figured out, made a very simple way to configure. It takes like 15 minutes to set it up. It's totally connected with Restaurant 365. We know your GL accounts. We know your locations. We walk you through a little wizard. We set you up. We configure it so that we know how your POS is working. Because POSs bring in different things, and you have to match with that. So then what's the end result? The first thing was we give you a report. It shows you all your data, and it shows you which items have to get posted to the accounting system. You need to post the delivery fees, the ordering fees, the processing fees, the marketing fees, the promos, which reduce your sales and reduce your sales tax. We figure all that out, and we show you in red, we're going to post this automatically. And we show you after we post this, we take a look, we pull in what the balance was. So just based on your POS, you were owed $5,000. We have these adjusting entries, and you're now owed $4,700. So we look at your adjusted balance, and then we look at your refunds. And there were, after one of the POS, you had $100 in refunds. So we book the refunds, and we show you how much the refunds were, and the detail, and why they were refunded. And then we get down to the final variance, because even at the end of the day, you never match exactly, but hopefully it's a very small number. And we could show you that you were supposed to collect $4,700, you collected $4,692, you were short $2 or $5 or over $2, and you get to a point where you're like, okay, it's very low, I did $100,000 in sales, I'm off by $200, it's not worth my effort. And then we have a report where you can go daily and see, okay, is this a problem that's happening every day, or is it just a one-off? Because there are a lot of things, and I don't want to get that much into the weeds, but sometimes an order is canceled after it hits your POS.
Yep.
They may call the store, they may not call the store, you're not getting paid for it, but it's in the POS, but you're not getting paid for it, and you don't see any record. So suffice it to say, from what we can book everything, we can rationalize it, we get it booked correctly, and then you can look, is there a major discrepancy? If there's not, you're good. Press a button, post it, and the way we post it in the system, we calculate exactly what you should be paid. And Restaurant 365 has a function called undeposited funds, which is just a repository of everything you expect to collect.
Yeah.
At any given time, undeposited funds, you can see what's outstanding, and when it comes in and you pull in your bank activity, it matches. Ka-chink, ka-chink. And 99 times out of 100, it matches, and you know you're golden. You know you're good. And we handle a lot of other subtleties, but most people, A, don't know how to do it properly. B, they don't know what they're paying. Every service calculates. You say it's 18% or 22%. 18% of what? Gross sales, net sales. Is it on, if you collect a delivery fee, is there a fee on the fee? You don't know. We know. We figured it out. We give you a nice report. It shows you what you're paying. You can see if it meets your expectations. And lastly, what we've done is one of the real unknowns is people today don't know what they should do. They're encouraged to run lots of promos by the, right?
You don't say.
DoorDash, Uber, and Grubhub their business is fueled by restaurants that offer BOGOs or 5 off 20.
Yep.
And they compete with each other as who has the better. Are these making you money or losing you money? What we've done is we built a report. It's just part of the same process. And we spit out what your marginal profit is for the week. So we take all of your DoorDash income, all of your DoorDash fees, all of your promos, book everything correctly, and figure out, and then look at your costs. And we have a field where you can enter what we figure out what your marginal food costs, marginal labor costs, marginal other operating expenses. Yep. And net, we can show you made, $60,000, $20,000. You can week to week, you can look and you say, oh, I usually make $40,000. I made $30,000. Oh, look at all these promos. And then you can dig in and say, okay, well, what promos did you run? Oh, I ran these BOGOs. They weren't good. Last week we ran 5 on 20. So so that's the gist, but it's only the tip of the iceberg of what we're doing. But what we're trying to do is, before you even get to AI, if we can use our own intelligence, not artificial
human
intelligence.
We love human intelligence.
Figure out how to rationalize this stuff for people. And especially when things change, right? So these services change everything all the time. It's really hard for an internal team of 2 or 3 or 4 people. Like all of a sudden the report changes, and now what are they going to do? Stop for an entire day and figure out how to interpret this report, how to fit it in? And no one... Do you have the time? Do you have the time to stop your business?
That's why we're partners with Restaurant 365.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is
you said everything you described is the reason why we believe in hospitality solutions by partners like Restaurant, because there's leadership here, and they care. I mean, look at this booth.
Awesome.
It's incredible. It's incredible what they built.
So this company is going to be one of the few companies in the history of restaurant technology that will way surpass 100,000 restaurants.
Yeah.
There's only a couple that have, and they're doing it from the bottom up, right? They haven't even got to the huge enterprise yet. Yeah. Most softwares that have eclipsed, other than Toast, that have eclipsed 100,000, they've got traction in the big chains, but they're not there for the masses. They help a few large companies. Restaurant 365 and the ecosystem built around it is here to help 80% of restaurants in America.
Absolutely.
This is a little thing too that I'll just give you an example. Again, it's kind of in the weeds, it's kind of nerdy, but at the end of the day, it's what you have to do. So we process for close to 1,000 restaurants. Olo, great company, one of the biggest players in the industry. Every day you get a credit card payment for the people that order on your web. Obviously, a lot of people are doing web ordering. You order on websites a lot?
We order all the time. My wife, myself, we all.
And what happens? You order on a website. They have your credit card. You swipe it, and you would think it's easy. They swipe the credit card. At the end of the day, you know how much all the credit cards are, and your accounting system should just deal with that. But what happens is, occasionally, someone might call up and say, it took a long time. They sent me the wrong thing. It was cold, and they issue a refund, or there's a fraudulent credit card, and someone says, this wasn't my order, and there's a chargeback. Yeah. But you know what happens? We have a process in Restaurant 365, which is fantastic. If the money comes in the way it's supposed to, it goes green and goes boop, 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 boop. And you're like, easy, easy, easy. Everything matches. Everything's good. And then you go, and you're left with the residual. And then you have to go and find out, why does this not match?
Yep.
And someone's got to stop and figure it out. Well, what we did is design software where we are ahead of the game, and we pull a report from Olo, and we know what the refunds and the credits and the chargebacks are. We can report on it, we can book it, and we can then reset the value at what you're going to get and tell you why. But now, instead of someone stopping, every day for all these transactions, for all these stores, it just automates it. So the idea is like, again, we're talking about AI doing this, but before we get AI, let's get human intelligence involved and think about how to make this easier so we have time to spend figuring out how to run our businesses better, not just to figure out how to make sure we get all the money we're supposed to get.
Awesome. So every single week on Wednesday and on Friday on LinkedIn, we do an audio room, and we want you, the listener, you, the viewer, to join us. It's 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, and we want you to join us. We have digital hospitality leaders from all over the globe, people that are in sales, marketing, finance, content creators, restaurateurs, and we have an incredible community. So please join us. Scott, if people want to learn more about you and what you guys do, how do they find you?
They dinetechnology.com, go to the website. It's very easy, Scott at Dine Technology. Email me. Glad to speak to anyone. Just give us a shout. We're out there. We're just trying to help the world of Restaurant 365 users do a better job. Find more time to run great businesses. Spend less time doing the accounting, but get it right. Learn your profitability. Understand your business.
That's great. And if you want to learn more about Restaurant 365, you can find them on the website. You can find them at any event. Check out their restaurant transformation tours. They have them all over the country for customers and potential customers. It's a great way for you to meet the team, find out how much they care about moving your restaurant business forward. And if you want to connect with me, I'm weirdly available at Shawn P. Walchef. We appreciate you. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks.
The National Restaurant Association show. We'll catch you guys next week.